cars. We call BS!
Florida school shooting survivor Emma Gonzalez is the internet's voice of reason on gun control. And if you guys haven't yet heard what she has to say, you have got to listen up because it is pure truth. So Emma Gonzalez, who's a high school senior at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida and a survivor of the recent shooting there, gave a very powerful speech on gun control just a few days after the shooting. Her impassioned speech called out the U.S. government for its inaction on the issue of gun violence. As she said, and I quote, "Every single person up here today, all these people should be home grieving, but instead we are up here standing together because if all our government and president can do is send thoughts and prayers, then it's time for victims to be the change that we need to see." Wow. At one point during the speech, Emma led the crowd to exclaim, "We call BS," regarding many politicians' lax stance on gun control, and it became a rallying cry for all who want stricter gun control laws.
They say that no laws could have been able to prevent the hundreds of senseless tragedies that have occurred. We call BS!
Really not surprisingly, Emma's speech immediately went viral. Her words inspired people all over the country and on social media to bond over a commitment to change gun laws. Over the weekend, Emma and her peers announced a march on Washington in D.C. and the rest of the country called March for Our Lives. The goal of the march will be to make sure politicians supported and funded by the NRA are not elected in the upcoming midterm elections. Emma explained of the march's goal, saying this, "We don't want these people in charge of us anymore. We have to be the politicians in this instance. We have to be the people calling for change and demanding change. There truly are not enough microphones in the world for the number of mic drops this young woman deserves." Emma received virtual standing ovations all over Twitter for her incredible speech, with one user even writing this, "I am more than old enough to be this kid's grandfather, and that was one of the finest, impassioned speeches I have ever heard by anyone of any age. Gives me some faith back in our youngest generation." Another person also praised Emma's eloquent speech and promised that she won't be alone in her fight for gun control, tweeting out, "Emma Gonzalez is a hero, but don't worry, there are millions more of us just as mad, and for the first time, we're going to make our presence felt in November." So for anyone who has ever called the millennial generation lazy or anyone beyond that, be sure to watch what happens when March for Our Lives comes through your town. FYI guys, this is just the beginning. We here at Clevver really want to share our unwavering support for Emma Gonzalez and the March for Our Lives movement because guess what? We call BS too. Of course, we also want to express our sincerest condolences for the victims of the Florida school shooting and of course their families. Thank you so much for joining me right here on Clevver Newsfeed. I'm your host, Jocelyn Davis, and I'll see you soon.